Yo, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, I am back with another install video. And in today's video, we're gonna be installing a carbon fiber steering wheel from TTD Craft. Make sure to check them out on Facebook or Instagram. Let me tell you, this steering wheel is fire. Let me show you. Now, you can pretty much tell them what you want and you'll get it. Check this thing out. Ooh, baby. Like I said, you can get it any way you want. You can get the leather any color you want. You can get this any color you want. You can get the carbon any color you want. You can even get the little LEDs in here. I was actually going to go that route, but it was just a little bit more expensive than I wanted to pay. Other than that, this thing is awesome. Now, I used to have one in my FK7, and that's why I went right back to TTD Craft. Great products. Now, what you need to do first, and you need to do this, do not forget, you need to unhook the battery. Now, I removed both the positive and negative cables. You probably don't need to do that, but for me, as a safety concern, I did. So grab yourself a 10mm ratchet or wrench and just remove the cables. Now, make sure to give it a good amount of time before you ever start messing with it. I ended up pulling it the night before, so it's been 12, 14 hours since I did it. I should have no issues. But as you can see, the cables are off. I just tucked the power down in here and the negative right up there on the rubber. And I also recommend that you have a friend. Mike's here with me again. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it, brother. That way, if something would happen with the airbag, someone's there to help you out. Because that's the last thing you want, is for that airbag to go off in your hand and in your face. That won't be good. All right, let me hop in the car and I'll show you how to remove the steering wheel. I'm going to be announcing the winner of the front lip giveaway, so make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video. All right, so what you need to do is you need to find yourself a thin, flathead, Phillips, it doesn't really matter. Behind the paddles, there's a hole on either side. I thought there was gonna be a screw. It's actually not, it's just a clip. And then there's one right up underneath too. So just take it, put it in the hole. And honestly, I don't know where the clip is. You just kind of just move it around and it'll pop out. And then the one underneath. There we go. You can feel it. There's like a little tab there on the edge. Hopefully we'll be able to see it once we take this out. We have 3 wires we got to unhook. One up top here and then 2 attached to the airbag. Now the one on top here, there's a little tab at the top. You can just push down with your finger and that comes out. And then there's 2 white tabs on either side. Just get in there and pull up on the tabs and it'll pull that out. And there we go, airbag is out. Now these are the releases for those 3 little holes. Okay, now looking at it, we have a harness here we're gonna have to remove, Phillips head here for a wire we'll have to remove, and then 2 more Phillips here. All right, my boy Mike gets all the credit for this one. This screw here got stripped immediately. I couldn't believe it. I'll show you, but it ended up falling down in a little crevice right here, so I actually got to get the steering wheel off, and I'll show you that. So be extremely careful, and I mean extremely careful. We had to use very small vice grips to get that off. So when you're doing it, try your best not to strip it. Okay. All right, now we need to move these wires out of the way, and we're gonna need to get an Allen socket. We'll try an impact gun first and see how that works. Definitely can't strip this one. We stripped this one, the steering wheel isn't getting replaced, so maybe I should just do it by hand and be done with it. All right, this is the socket we're gonna use. I don't know the size, I just know that it fits in the hole. So we're just gonna put that in there, and then we're actually gonna go with the impact gun. But I do have a ratchet and extension just in case we need it. Now I'm going to put as much pressure on this as I possibly can. Oh, I don't know if we just don't have enough power in the battery, but that ain't gonna work. Onto the ratchet and extension. Actually, Mike, can you hold the wheel? There we go. Ooh. And then tap on both sides, and it'll should slide right out. That's it. Where's this screw? Here is the screw that got stripped. I mean, look at that. And the outside's all bent up. That's from Mike with the vice grips trying to get it off. So when we go to put this back in, we'll just put this part into the plastic part so that the wire itself is held in there with a good screw. Okay, so what we need to do next is we need to remove these controls on either side and the paddles in behind. There is no screws or anything like that other than inside right here. There's two tabs on either side, so we're gonna pop them out, and then most likely I recommend using like a plastic tool. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any, so I'm just gonna use a really small flat-headed screwdriver, and looks like we're gonna have to go in there and just kind of pry the casing off. So for these tabs here, it looks like I think we might be able to use a set of needle nose on those to get them a little easier. And it looks like those little tabs hold this back casing on. I don't see any other screws back here. And then we have all the wires too that we need to make sure we put back in exactly the way we took them out of this one. It has two little tabs on either side. We just need to make sure we get it pushed down enough to get those tabs out of the way. There are little tabs here as well back here. You can see, you can hear me hitting them right there. Okay, so right here, there's a little tab at the top. Pop that off. And we should be able to just work our way around with our fingers. And just pry ever so gently. So you know what? I'm gonna unhook these. And then that comes right out. So then you need to grab yourself a Phillips head. And what we're gonna end up having to do here is, now for you manual guys, you won't have to worry about this part. We're gonna take off the paddles. And then right here we have a set of wires that we're gonna have to unhook to the paddle. There we go. That was easy. Still stuck there. There we go. Okay. You don't want to mess with this any further. You're just going to take it and install it into the new one. But then we need to move on to this piece, and we need to take the controls out. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull back on these. We're going to take these fingers, I'm going to push up, I'm going to pull out with my thumbs. We got to make sure we get this one. And then there's another tab here that we have to move. See how it popped out right there? Do the same thing with that. There we go. Then we're going to do the same thing with this side. Pull out with your thumbs, push up with your index fingers. Grab your little tool, come in here behind. Grab our other tool. This one fell back in. And we're done. I was trying to put the airbag in and I'm like, man, it's not going in. So what I ended up doing was going back to the old one. Well, come to find out, now this wasn't in the 10th gen. The 10th gen is just 2 screws. Well, come to find out on the 11th, there's 3 little hooks. One here, and one here. I've already taken the other 2 out, but to remove them, just pull down and lift out. And then when we want to put them in, slide up in here. Kick it over that end there. Then you're gonna do the same with these 2. Through the back here, down the through the back here, down through that side, push down, and it loops over. Then you'll do the same with this side, through here, through that bottom hole, and push down. Now I gotta put the steering wheel back together again, and we'll get it back in the car. Okay, so we got the carbon fiber steering wheel. Now it's time to put it all back together. I'm gonna line these 2 holes up with the tabs. Take it, push them in. I don't know if you heard that, but they locked into place, which is exactly what we wanted. Those wires are good. Those wires are good. And then we just want to make sure that it's all nice and tight up and back through here, up in here. So, you know, push in really good. Hear it clip in there. Oh, this part kicked out here, so there we go. Now everything's lined up there. Now we can put our screws back in. Actually, before we do that, why don't we just, that's in, and the other one's in. Now we can put our screws back in. Okay, so I messed up. So I need to take this screw back out. And I just thought of it. I'm missing that little round wire that we had a problem getting that screw out earlier. So I need to get that in there. All right, so we can push that back in. Make sure your wire, this upper wire is good, so when you get it back in the car, you can plug that back in. All right, we're good there. Now I can put these screws back in. All right, we're all good for that. Now what we need to do is we need to get the controls back in. And all you really need to do is just tuck it back up underneath, flip it over, and try to line everything up as good as you can. All snapped in there really nice. Looks really tight there, so that's good. We'll do the same thing with this side. All right, now we're good. Plug the controls back in. Now make sure all the wires are where you need it to be. Push her on until you hear them click. Okay, so there's 2 like little on either side right here. That's what's holding me up. There's like 2 little tabs looks like you gotta pinch together. There is a guide tab as well, but if you're not in that hole, so I'm gonna take that, try to pinch it, get it in there. All right, I think we got it for the most part here. Got a little bit right here. All right, now I am gonna put these 2 screws in. I took them out earlier, but just to get this to seat better, I'm gonna put these screws in just to see if that helps. And now the bad one. We'll see how. This one might only be hand tight. Actually, it's probably gonna have to be tight because of the airbag. So the airbag has enough room. Just let me screw it in. I'll let it go until it strips. So that way if I ever have to take it off again, I'll be able to get it off again. All right, guys, it's time to put it in the car. All right, so what we need to do is we need to take these wires and we're gonna feed them up through here, this top section. And what we need to do next is we need to make sure we put it on 100% straight, and it actually helps out a lot that we have this line up here. And get it in, and then just wiggle it back and forth. If it doesn't go on, then you're not on a tooth. So you need to back up. I think that's the one. Right there. All right, so what we need to do next is put the bolt in. I'm gonna start with this and finish up with the ratchet. All right, let's try this again. Obviously they're color coded, black to black, gray to gray. There we go. All right, moment of truth. Now we got to hook the battery back up and hopefully the airbag doesn't go.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And we're good. Now the steering wheel job is complete. Tell you what, it feels real good steering. No issues. Now I am taking it to get it balanced. The steering wheel actually is really good. It's really nice and smooth when steering. Now it is a tad bit heavier. I'd say maybe ½ pound to a pound heavier, which does give it that little bit smoother of a feel when you're turning the wheel. Woo, she is looking good. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. And now it's time to give away this front lip. You guys have been waiting for, oh, I don't know, 2 months now. Drum roll, please. And the winner of the eBay front lip is Jason Robinson. Congratulations, Jason. Leave me a message on Instagram or Facebook, or you can always go to my about page on my channel and shoot me an email. Now, earlier in the video, I told you I was gonna give away this Muslogy Carbon Fiber steering wheel trim piece, and that's what I'm gonna do. So if you wanna win this thing, you gotta do 3 things as usual. Number 1, you gotta be a subscriber. Number 2, you gotta leave a like on this video. And number 3, leave a comment saying, I like carbs. That's it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. And as always, this was your boy Miller. I'll see you in the next one.